Hello, everyone. Welcome to week three of Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Daryl Henry, Rick Forney on your screen if you're watching the YouTube version. And of course, we come to you on radio on WOYK on this fine Monday evening. And Rick, happy snow day to you. How are you doing out there in Frederick?
Oh, all's good in the hood around here. Just I like the snow, probably our last one of the year, and a little disappointed. Didn't get as much as they said we were going to get, but it's still nice seeing that white snow-covered ground. Actually, we just finally got a lot of that snow melted off from that January 25th storm. Um, yeah, I saw my grass for about 3 days, and it looked great. And here we are again, starting over. But I think by Wednesday or Thursday, it should be gone. Aren't we going to warm up and get some rain? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we're gonna be pretty wet around here.
Do you have do you have a snowblower for your property?
Yeah, I got a snowblower, but well, I didn't have to use it today. There ain't much going on, but I did on the 25th have to use it. But I think I'm gonna have to get a four wheeler with a plow on. It's just if you get a big storm, it's a lot with a snowblower. So we'll see. It just gives me a reason to buy a new toy.
That would be next level. Well, all right, let's see. The first outburst this morning has come from one of my dogs. So, if anyone is wondering, I'm in the home studio again, which is basically just my den. I've got a recliner, a couch, a TV, and a computer, which is what else could you need?
I don't. You could survive there for a couple of years, couldn't you?
I think so.
Yeah.
That's I've set it up as such.
Put some
Um,
earplugs in. You're good.
Yeah, I could use those right about now. I'm not sure he must see somebody outside, but yeah, as of now, as of this recording, and we'll have two player signings today, and we're planning on having a player interview in the next segment with Ben Blackwell, who we announced last week. Looking forward to that. As of this moment, I'm waiting to hear if we'll have our high school game on the radio tonight. So hopefully we do, which would be at 6:45. But Rick, yesterday I heard this from Steve Shutt with the Atlantic League. Told me that I guess the Mets radio people must have been. I wish I would have heard it, but they must have been raving about the Atlantic League in York because I guess Matt Turner got into a game with the Mets in their camp, and then last night I'm sitting here watching MLB Network, and they were re-airing the Blue Jays Red Sox game, and Brendan Chalucci, I see him on the screen, he's coming in. The umpire checks him for the sticky stuff on his hands and whatnot. It goes to break, and I'm sitting here waiting to see Chalucci pitch, and then MLB Network comes back with the due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action. So I never got to see him pitch, but pretty cool to hear about two of your. I mean, Cam obviously is in camp with Tampa, but two of your lefty closers the last 2 years are in big league camp with guys.
Yeah, Nick Riquet pitched in the Cardinals game yesterday too. So yeah,
Nice.
some current Revs are out there getting some opportunity in some big league games, which is really exciting for them. And they're all deserving. They're all really good. And so um, just glad we could help them advance their careers. And um, yeah, I just kind of checked the box scores yesterday just to see if any of these guys happen to be getting in games. And I haven't seen Cam get in a game yet or Simonite, but yeah, it's exciting for these guys. And um, it's exciting for us too. I mean, they're our friends, and they came and chose York, and it all worked out for them.
Yeah. Now, did you sit outside in the cold and watch some women's lacrosse on Friday? Is that what I understand?
Yeah, I did. I don't know what I'm watching. Don't understand the game. Don't try to understand the game. Just kind of watch my daughter play, and then once the game is over, going about my business. But yeah, senior year, just it's winding down, and they don't have a real strong program in Shepherd. They got a new coach there that actually it's a young girl from the York area. Um,
Oh,
and I think she's going to do really well as a coach there, and she just needs it's all about recruiting and bringing some girls in there that can help turn their program around. And they're up against it. They're just a little bit short on talent. They can't really compete with the Westchesters and East Stroudsburg States and some of those upper level D2 programs, but they are still getting to play lacrosse in college, and um, Rebecca still enjoys it, and she was looking forward to her senior year, so it's finally here, and we're glad to go out and support her.
Good, good. And you saw Wolfie this weekend. Is he chomping at
Yeah,
the bit or what?
Wolf, he's a baseball guy. He was in York for that coach's clinic on Saturday, and then he comes down to my house on Sunday to do some lessons before he goes home, and he was in
And
full blown.
eat?
No, he didn't eat. I mean, he spent the night in York, so he must have left the hotel at like 7:15 in the morning at York, and I guess he got to my house about 8:45. I'm sure he fed himself. Derek. Um,
I mean, that's before Haas's is open, I think. So,
yeah, he wouldn't have hit hosses yet, but yeah, he's got a two-wheel drive truck, so he was a little bit worried about the weather. And I said, "You'll be good till about 4 or 5 o'clock tomorrow once it starts getting cold and sticking." And so he's here doing lessons from 9 to 4, and jumped in his truck. He should be home by now, and um, I know he's going to stop at Bucky's somewhere along the way. I think there's one in South Carolina and Georgia for him to stop at. But he's good, just doing what Derek does, just always working and grinding. Loves baseball, loves to teach.
yeah, our first 6 game trip will be to High Point. So I expect a Bucky's stop for us too,
Yeah,
twice.
you can probably count on that happening on the way down and on the way back.
Perfect. All right. I'm happy. All right. Well, that's it, Rick. Good
All right,
show.
good talk. See you later.
Yeah. Um, so this week, let's start with your pitching staff, and you've got a guy that we know a little bit coming back and excited about this. Go ahead, Rick. Who do we have first?
Yeah, we signed left-handed pitcher Braden Scott for the 26th season, and I'm really excited about it. I mean, he's coming off a remarkable year last year. He obviously was in Evansville, the Frontier League. Joined us at the end of the season to make a handful of starts, but just an incredible season he had last year. Through a lot of innings, he may have led all of minor league baseball in strikeouts last year. Maybe you can figure that out. I'm not sure if anybody had more than 176 punch outs, but that's a
Wow.
lot of strikeouts last year. You don't really see that anymore, but we had him the year before, and there was a little bit of a struggle trying to maybe adapt to the Atlantic League. But last year just seemed to be much different. Was in better shape. His fastball had more life, better command of his breaking ball, and really knew what he was doing. And pitched great for us and real consistent. I mean, his numbers in the Frontier League and Atlantic League were basically the same last year, and really gave us a good effort and High Point in the clincher. A little bit of a struggle early in the game, but he made some big pitches to keep the game and keep us in the game where it could have got going sideways in a hurry. But um, competes really well. Stuff's good, and really excited to have him.
I will look into where that strikeout total ranks. I know it led the Frontier League. I mean, it'd be hard pressed to find a guy in that league that had a better season than he did. I mean, he was an ace.
Yeah, good year. I know he led the Frontier League in strikeouts, and I want to say he led all of independent baseball in strikeouts. But I'm willing to go out there and maybe investigate whether it was all of minor league baseball. You just don't see starting pitchers in affiliated baseball throw that many innings anymore, which
Yeah.
obviously is going to mean you don't have the opportunity to strike out as many guys. But maybe something to look into. I mean, you just don't see 176 punch outs in a season very often.
Yeah. That uh game 4 clincher in High Point that he started, he went 4 2/3, and like you said, he had a little speed bump early that he had to work through, and he did that and allowed your offense to get going and take control of that game. But looking back on it, he had 9 strikeouts that night, which
Mm-hmm.
was a Revs playoff record up until when Chris Valamont went ahead and struck out 15 in game 1 last year. 9 was the previous playoff record for a Rev start. But yeah, what's your hope for him this year, coming off a year like that? You looking at a frontline type lefty for you?
Yeah, I think he has that capability. I mean, obviously, you want somebody that you can plug in there to make 20 plus starts for you, and they're 130, 140 innings, and give you a chance to win every time he's out there. And I think Braden obviously fits the bill. And um, he, some of these parks in the Atlantic League can be quite offensive, as we all know. And if you're pitching, in Hagerstown, you can a little easier to be committed to putting the ball in play. Staten Island, a little easier to be committed to putting the ball in play. But some of these other parks are offensive, and you need some starters that can get some swings and misses. And because too much contact isn't necessarily a great thing in our league, because if you're a little off with your command, you could pay a dear price. So he has that swing and miss ability. And for me, it's just, his fastball was better. He had a little more velo last year, a little more life, could command it to both sides of the plate. And his breaking ball, his curveball was much better than what we saw the year before. He still got that cutter and slider change. But for me, the difference maker when I saw him pitch, especially that really good game he pitched at our park against Lancaster, he had just a phenomenal night, just a really good mix with all of his pitches. But his curveball was so good that day, and just you had to respect it. And he was just able to throw his fastball right by you because you were looking for those curveballs. And when you did get the curveball, it just never got to the plate. You couldn't do anything with it. Just a remarkable night for him.
Yeah, I think that was a 2-1 win where he went
Yeah.
deep into the game. It was a Sunday in September,
Mm-hmm.
final weekend at home before the playoffs. It was one of the great pitching performances of the year. I remember the game four start in High Point. You were very confident in what he was going to give you coming in, and he hadn't pitched in about 2 weeks because we
Yeah.
didn't get to game four in the first series. But
Yeah.
there's not a whole lot that bothers the guy, I don't think, just being around him
No,
a brief time.
very steady every day. I don't think he looks for ways out of it. And he just kind of knew, obviously we didn't get to his start in the Lancaster series. And after we clinched in the clubhouse, immediately after the game, I just wanted him to know that the rotation was going to stay the same and your spot wasn't going to come up till game four. Um, Obviously, he was accepting of that and embraced it. But at the same time, he and Joe, put the work in to get himself prepared for that start. Now, what's this stuff fresh or crisp location? A little inconsistent, but that's to be expected. But all you want your guy to do is compete for you, and that's what he did.
Well, and he and I have talked a little bit about trying to do one of these player interviews with him, and he's got a loaded schedule this winter. He's working out.
Yeah,
A lot of these guys are doing that, but I saw some video that he posted of one of his workouts the other day. So you got to admire these guys are, they're giving it everything they've got and putting in the work here with
yeah.
about a month and a half till we get together.
Yeah, he's still very much committed to what he's doing. He does have long days. He trains in the mornings for a couple hours before his workday starts, and his workday is usually running him from noon till 9 o'clock. So they're pretty long days for him, but he's doing whatever he needs to do to get himself prepared. And I'm sure he's doing that because he has high expectations. He still has goals and dreams and aspirations of playing at a higher level. And you certainly respect the work that he's putting in.
Yeah, well, Braden Scott coming back to York. He was a late season addition each of the last 2 years. Last year was phenomenal when you brought him over from Evansville from the Frontier League. His Frontier League career, 3.45 ERA, 10.3 strikeouts per nine. So it wasn't just last year that he was really good in the Frontier League. In fact, 2021, Rick, he was coming out of Indiana, the former Hoosier. And he begins his pro career in Evansville. And in 14 starts, he has a 2.72 ERA as a rookie, which got him a contract with Toronto the following year. And he was in the Blue Jays system, getting to AA over the course of the next 2 years before his route took him back to Evansville for another go around. So he's been through uh, partner league baseball successfully and has gotten that next opportunity. And hopefully we see it happen for him again.
Yeah, I'm pretty positive that there's going to be another opportunity for him somewhere. He's really good, and um, I think he's just really scratching the surface as to what he could potentially be as a starting pitcher. And I think he's obviously figured some things out. And sometimes it takes a little while to do that, but um, he seems to be in a really good place.
All right, Braden Scott, our first signing this week. And just to wrap it up, his numbers last year with Evansville, 8-4 with a 3.29 ERA and 20 starts, and with York, very comparable, 2-0 with a 3.32 in 4 regular season starts. So Braden Scott headed back to the rotation this year. By the way, Rick, just out of curiosity, what's how many starters do you think potentially you have at this point? Is that something that you're hunting pretty hard
Uh,
still?
yeah, I think I got one, two, three, four. Um, a couple of them I feel like are going to have to show that they can handle a starting situation in our league. So we'll see. There's obviously, I'd like to make sure I have like six guys that can handle that situation. I feel comfortable enough that they'll go out there and have a repeatable delivery and command the baseball for 18 outs or more. And so obviously, we're still a work in progress with our roster, but still need some pitching upgrades along the way. And it's going to mean at least probably two more starters.
Well, Braden Scott's a good pickup for sure. We'll take a break here on this week's program. Ben Blackwell is in our player segment coming up, and then back with Rick for our second player signing this week here on Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Welcome back here on Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. We'll get back to Rick Forney here in just a moment, but in our player spotlight this week, we have one of the newcomers to the team. Very excited last week to announce Ben Blackwell, infielder who joins the Revs here this year. And Ben, welcome. And as you and I were discussing, we have a little video component to the show that we didn't used to have. So where am I seeing you right now? Where are you?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you for having me. But right now I'm in Northern Virginia.
Is that a training facility that you're at?
This is the facility I'm at this morning, and yeah, this is great.
Did we catch you pre or post workout?
Pre, I'm going into it. Didn't get up too early this morning, but yeah, middle of the day, pre workout.
Okay. What's your daily routine or weekly routine like? What are you gonna do today?
Yeah, right now it's a pretty consistent hit, throw, field, trying to ramp up each component and kind of hone on what I need to, work on what I need to for the day.
Have you lived in the Northern Virginia area for a long time?
I have this is actually where I grew up, so this is home for me and where I come back to most off seasons.
I did see that you were born in Fort Bragg, North Carolina, but you live in Northern Virginia now.
That was a short period. Yeah, my dad is former military, so I was
Okay.
born at Bragg in North Carolina, but have grown up and spent most of my life in the Northern Virginia area.
Very cool. Well, we thank Mr. Blackwell for his service. And did you get a lot of snow down there today? How's everything looking?
We actually did, and I'm quite sick of it. I was hopeful that it would pass over, but we did. We got a couple more inches to add to what we've already gotten.
Your traffic down there is hellacious enough to begin with, let alone adding some snow to the mix.
You got it. Totally.
Did you grow up like rooting for all the DC area teams and everything?
That's a good question. Football, no, not really. Baseball. Most of my mom's family is actually from Atlanta, so
Okay.
I'm a Braves fan by heart. Uh, but the Capitals, I'm a huge hockey fan, and I love the Capitals. And so that is that is a hometown team for me.
Nice. Ben Blackwell is with us. So when you get here, we'll have to chat further about this. But our station carries the Hershey Bears, and therefore, whenever we get a chance, we put the caps on our station as well. So
There you
you can
go.
listen to John Walton while you're cruising around York this
That's
summer.
perfect. Perfect.
How did you get connected with Rick to sign here?
That is a good question. Actually, former one of his former players, Matt McDermott, and I
Oh yeah.
played against each other in college. Uh, Great player. Always spoke highly of Rick while he was there, and kind of followed him. And we got connected. What was that? 2024. It didn't work out, but he reached back out after spending a season with the Dirty Birds this past year, and it seemed like a good fit. And I'm super appreciative of him reaching back out.
Matt McDermott's good people. And you made just one visit with Charleston last year, but did you get a sense of York and our ballpark? And did you enjoy your time here?
Absolutely, yeah, super impressive facilities and field and great environment and atmosphere. So looking forward to it.
Got to ask you, are you excited to play on grass for your home games again?
That's a good question. Yeah, honestly, yes, but not a huge preference. It There's not many fields in the Atlantic League that are natural anymore, so it's always good to be on one when you can be.
Ben Blackwell is with us. I know you are really highly touted defensively, all of your game, but the defense I've heard such great things about. Is has that come naturally to you? Did you always have soft hands, good reactions, or is it something that you've really worked for some reason that maybe others haven't?
Well, you're very kind. But yeah, I take prides in all facets of my game, and last year was a good year, and I try to build on that and hone that. But yeah, I really take pride in being a good defender and being able to help pitchers out and make outs, turn outs into outs. That's kind of my philosophy.
I know you've played all the infield spots. How many gloves do you carry with you?
Right now, I have a couple. I I try to stay consistent with the same one I use for third, short, and second though. Uh, try to keep that consistent.
Gotcha. So what have how have you spent your off season? What do the next few weeks look like?
Yeah, this is where I've been all off season, and they do a great job at this facility. Uh, and it's been mostly ramping up from starting slow, and then the next few weeks will be trying to get outside as much as we can. Obviously, snow is not conducive to that, but hopefully that melts here soon, and I'm on the field more, and getting ready to go.
Yeah. Well, we are certainly looking forward to having you here in York, Ben. Appreciate a few minutes here today. We'll let you get to your workout, but we're all looking forward to meeting you in person. So thanks a lot for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to it.
Absolutely. All right, perfect. That's all we needed.
Perfect. Thank you so much for doing this.
Absolutely. Good to see you. I'll let me know if you need anything up here. I mean, I've been in York my whole life, so if there's anything I can do for you, but yeah, look forward to meeting you in a few weeks.
Okay, yeah, that's great. I look forward to being up there and meeting all of you.
All right. Sounds
All
good,
right,
Ben. Have a good day.
you too. Take care.
Thank you. Welcome back here on Rev's Hot Stove Weekly, presented by Shipley Energy. Fun chat with Ben Blackwell. Appreciate his time here on this Monday. And another infielder, Rick, alongside Ben. Of course, in our first segment this week, you announced Braden Scott, lefty starter coming back. We know pretty well about him, obviously, but a new guy to your infield and another exciting looking prospect that you have coming in. Who do we have next?
Yeah, we signed infielder Joshua Day. Really excited about this young baseball player. coming off a great season, and the American Association played 95 games of shortstop with the Sioux City Explorers, and um, had a great season, hit in the middle of their lineup, and just did a really good job. And he's kind of fits the mold, as you know, of what we like for players. We like to have guys that are versatile defenders, but on offense, they're more than just one dimensional on offense as well. We like some speed in there. He has the ability to steal some bags and score some runs for us. But he was a run producer for them last year. He drove in a ton of runs for Sioux City, and at the same time, the defense was really good. Not an easy park to play in. Hard to produce a ton of offense in Sioux City, but it's also not the easiest infield to defend on. So excited about him and what he potentially could bring to our ball club. And he's really good the year before that in the Pioneer League. And obviously, one of the if you want to know the truth, one of the reasons that really wanted me, why I wanted to sign Josh was the success that Troy Viola had last year in Long Island, coming out of that Pioneer League. I wasn't sure what that young man would be able to do in a league like the Atlantic League, but obviously we saw it firsthand. That guy dominated us and played really hard. And so I'm thinking, maybe that league is a nice little stepping stone to this league. And same thing, I think the Cole Kaler kid played from
Mm-hmm.
Long Island, also played in the Pioneer League. So I'm kind of hoping the Atlantic League is a nice stepping stone for Joshua, and he can kind of have the same success as those two young ball players have.
Yeah, there's one guy that comes to mind that had done that in York, and that was Alejandro Rivero. He had been in the Pioneer League at one time, and I think maybe even went to the Cubs system
Yeah,
after that before
yeah,
coming to York.
yeah.
But yeah, I was wondering, I was going to ask you that if it's maybe becoming an avenue, and certainly the American Association is. I mean, that league like the back of your hand, and he played very well there. So,
Yeah, it's really hard to gauge, what a player can potentially do for you. I mean, none of us, it's not an exact science. And I don't care how long we've all been doing this. I mean, it's still a guessing game. You're never 100% sure. But what I do know is the Atlantic League and even the American Association are starting to get younger for many reasons, but the leagues are getting younger, and we need to be open to the idea of some of these guys transitioning from the Pioneer League or to the Frontier League to the Atlantic League and doing well. And I think Joshua has the athletic ability and the mindset and the work ethic to be one of those guys that could do a nice job transitioning to our league. Alejandro was a young player. Obviously, he had success, but he wasn't there for a long time. He got signed by the Cubs and then really didn't play a ton. But Alejandro had a lot of youngness to his game and offense, just lacked a little bit of a consistent approach, and he was a young defender. Um, I think Josh is a little more seasoned than him, especially as a defender, plays more of a premium position. Um, can play short really well, can play second, can play third. A bigger guy, 6'2", 200 plus, and stronger frame. So um, my expectations are pretty high. So I'm excited to see him get on the field and move a little bit. I'm really, really just tickled about having Ben Blackwell and Josh, two really good young defenders, and the potential that they could probably be two of the better middle guys in the league.
yeah, I was thinking that when you announced them back to back. Josh Day, he is from Mississippi. He'll turn 26 about a month from now. Big right hand hitter. Went to University of Missouri, hit 340 his final year, and then was a 15th round pick of the Diamondbacks in 2022, and had 2 years in their system. 2024 with Rocky Mountain in the Pioneer League, hit 350 with 18 home runs, 82 driven in. Last year in Sioux City, hit 285 with 6 homers, and he showed more speed. He had 20 steals. Um, Rick, another team that did the whole Pioneer League thing a lot last year was Lexington, when Paul Fletcher came over, and they, I mean, again, they brought in a lot of young guys that at the very least held their own in the Atlantic League. So,
Yeah, yeah. Paul
um,
managed in the Pioneer League, so he saw those guys firsthand. And
mhm.
obviously, you're playing an elevation in a lot of these places, so the numbers can be a little bit skewed. But for like Paul, he saw these guys play, and there wasn't any hesitation on his part to bring these guys in. And obviously, when we saw them, they were really talented, especially the young arms that they were throwing out there against us. I
Yeah.
mean, there's six guys in that bullpen that weren't chopped liver. There's some young kids that were really rushing it up there. And then when you backtrack their histories and the success that they had playing college baseball in the SEC and some of these better conferences down south, those guys transitioned really well in the league. Lexington had a good season. And they're very much in the mix from the start to the finish last year. And a lot of it wasn't just because they had, Whalen having a great year or Curtis Terry having a great year. Those young kids were a big reason for it. And credit Paul for bringing those young kids in there and giving them an opportunity to play in the Atlantic League. And they rewarded them for it. And we'll see if he's bringing back the same guys. I don't know what he's got going on, but that Lexington team did have a lot of Pioneer League kids on it that played really well last year.
Well, looking forward to seeing what Joshua Day will do in York this year. Again, an accomplished hitter and a
Mm-hmm.
really good and versatile fielder. So, Rick, that'll about do it for this week. What's the look ahead look like? Are things is the pace picking up at all, or
No,
we keep
no.
saying that?
I wish it was, my friend, and that's not me sandbagging you. I wish it was. Just still a little slow, but we're getting close to March 1st. I think minor league camp starts March 5th, so um, there's like five or six agents that promise they'll call me right away as soon as they know that their guy's not going to affiliated baseball or spring training of any sort. I think they know at this point it's going to be a bit of a stretch, but they're still doing their job as an agent trying to get those guys placed. So I just got to be optimistic that March is going to be busy for me and have some guys really come through and offer me some really good players that can help our ball club.
Nice. Offer them a spot on this show if that would help
Oh man,
put
that
it
would
over the
definitely be
finish line.
I'm for sure like a weekly spot with Daryl Henry would be right at the top of their list. I'm sure of that.
Whatever we can do. All expense trip to Bucky's in early May, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah. Just whatever you guys want at Bucky's, we'll just make it a full blown shopping experience and all the cinnamon rolls and fresh brisket sandwiches you can eat.
Man, I
What a
can't
morning!
wait.
What a morning that's going to be.
Oh man, take me there now. All right, Rick. Well, we appreciate it as always. Look forward to next week. You got Braden Scott and Josh Day this week. Two good ones and excited for them.
All right, pal. We'll talk to you soon.
All right, yes, sir. See you.
See you.
Revolution!